Friday. Stock market. Here we go. So, the foundation. Look at the cool signal on the daily. This shows the weakness of the sellers. But, for one thing, the strength of salespeople is not going down for some reason. And another oscillator, a marvelous oscillator, shows exactly the same thing. Look at when we had as buyers deflated, how sharply it was going. And here, basically, we're growing right now. And the oscillator's bending in a very strange way. From this, we can infer from someone here that false this growth may be. And plus cash flow in general is just at 0. Let's look at the big time frames and see what we have going on. Yes, for 2 days, it's cool here in general. There's 1, 2, 3 signals. Cool drew a block order here and knocked into the level. It bounced off him and flew upward. But we have another resistance here, which is exactly the same one we hit now and bounced back into. For 2 days, the cash flow is so average. And here, look, here was just a huge buyer. You look at the sheer force, constant, rigid. There was a customer here. And the oscillator looks like, here it's completely jacked up, and the growth was just some unimaginable. And now it's like, pow. It's all blown away. And the last 2 days, the seller's power has been growing, so it's not falling down. 3 days. Well, we don't have enough signals for 3 days. Our cash flow, yes, is going up. The bulls here, you can see they're straining. It's very controversial. Very controversial. So what's next is HAI's rewrite. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait another week. We have a week closing in 6 hours today. What are we getting? Well, if that's the way it's painted now, in short, if it goes a little lower now, it will draw a reversal hammer. And likely to continue downward from here. But here's another look at the week. The bull's strength isn't going down. It's just like this one was at its maximum. And the last 2 days, these last 2 days, 2 weeks, the strength of the bulls is just as tremendous. They're trying very hard to buy you off. And so to show, look how cool our market is. And in principle, it's succeeding now. And in principle, if they draw a green candle upwards now, then, of course, it's a case for still going up. Well, we've got a month. How much started? And there's nothing to see here at all yet. Well, this is where you get to the level. That's before this. One more time on the daily. Well, that's the level we should probably bang into one more time. Touch it. So, for 12 hours, we had a nice strong signal. At 10 o'clock we have, well, the odds are actually quite high that even here, in principle, it could already be turning around. Well, and here, look. Even bounced back. It's all about sales. At 10 o'clock, sales are underway. For 8 hours, there's a controversial back and forth split. 4 hours for a kickback too. It's likely that the level can be touched. But in general, it really looks like this. Artificial growth. Not the kind of support, but this one is actually a strong signal. 2 options now. When we have such a signal, we either continue a really aggressive growth and here all the highs will be rewritten again and we will move further up. Either it's such a, news signal that people believe in something. And there's a reason for that. Well, that's where Apple announced some cosmic buybacks. And then what's next? It's all rocket science out there. Everyone is happy and excited to be redeeming, and the whole index is rocketing onward. So here we either have very aggressive continued growth, and the cash flow is now back up again, and that's it. We've flown up. Either that's it, the high will definitely not be rewritten here. It is going to touch this level here now, and the downward movement will start from it. By the way, on the month, if this happens, and in fact, if now it's going down to 50-30, the month will look just terrible and a strong movement will start. Continued below. The dollar. The dollars here were very cool, signaling that, that's it, here we go. The second time near the level knocked and bounced back down. Basically, cash flow is down. Everything is down. And that's the level we have to get to at least. Not the fact, of course, that they turned it around. But look, again from turquoise to orange, new movement. New momentum has passed from orange now to turquoise when it will have to wait for what we have on the big time frames. Here, of course, look how cool it is for 3 days strong resistance. We have orange falling here, which has formed, look at the steep resistance. For 3 days falling orange, which has formed strong resistance. Look at it. It's 1-2, and the level has been touched and bounced back down. Onward for now, in favor of continuing downward. Gold. Actually, the first level I was talking about, it was touched and tried to bounce back. Couldn't. Broke all the way down, tried up again and again, failed. So now, oh, the order block is very interestingly drawn. Now here's the road to that level. Right here at 2200 right now, I'm planning on stocking up pretty good. If they do, this way, look, it might sting a little bit like one day. This would be a good place to buy. In fact, look, something happened to gold. There's some news today. In the last 2 hours, some kind of splintering straight up and hard began to drain, and the volumes have gotten huge. The volumes are small though. That's it. What time is it? Oh, so this is America's discovery. There's something going on at America's opening. This is where America's discovery was leaked, and this is where something is happening now. Maybe again, here I say, believed there. It turns out that's it. Apple will rocket further, and in fact, everyone back there in the stock is shifting back to America. But America will do anything to be bought now. On gold next is the selling, and well, that's where to buy. This one is a very good level. It's too early to buy here. Here you see, it's all purely localized trades. 1 buy, 2 buys, and we're up to 2.6. Here immediately the first purchase and 1.8 made. Gold is best seen on small time frames, probable reversal and yellow bar. By the way, on gold, on the daily, as I said, in principle, you can already start buying now. In principle, I will probably buy a little bit of gold now because the yellow bar is a very good signal for continuation. Let's move on. Oil. Oh, the oil pouring out. And, by the way, that's the area here. It's already turned into support. You can change it. And the yellow one with the dot is, well, out of the channel actually. This is where the yellow is, because we've entered a good support zone. Well, it's trying to bounce back, but the momentum is starting to midway through the momentum. So there's a very good chance of going even lower. Well, here it is. There was a very strong signal on the daily orange, and after, it should reach turquoise at best. Yellow is just as likely a reversal now. But yellow works out very well if we have a bull market. Gold is in a bull market right now, and the first yellow, you can start buying on it straight away. That is, make your first purchase. Let's move on. Natural gas. This is where I wanted to buy, and naturally, I didn't buy it. But this one here, this is the place I was talking about. In every issue, I've said that this is the place, this is the super place to buy, where you should stoically buy. And it flew away. Here, if you've been buying somewhere down the line, then by all means, keep it. Because momentum in general is very powerful. And then for the continuation right up to this level, there's a high probability of reaching it. Man, that was a great gap to close this one. So onward to the top. Tregoris. Debts, debts, debts to America. Well, they're trying to turn it around for 3 days. Basically, look, here's 88, a strong level. You can see that straight into it, and it's hard to go any further. Well, we've already had green bars here, and basically started for 3 days. It's already an area of great interest. Oh, for 2 days. That was a good buy signal. Hold. Now if you buy, if you have access, you can get one. It's looking good. Dow Jones Index. Also, look at how cool the visual level is. Bomb. He's been batted in, punched in, rebounded, and now he's like an endorsement. And he has now performed well as support. Basically, well, a bunch of signals are there. Cash flow is good, and the likelihood that further up could go. Good. Oh, there's a huge gap. Why is he here? Look, on a daily basis, the money flow is down, and very much down. And here, really, actually, holy shit. 1, here's 2. Bad signals. A strong zone of resistance. Here we go again. And tremendous strength of the bulls. Tremendous strength of the bears. All that said, it could be, there's a good chance that the growth is fake right now. Well, actually, there's now an uptick in the announcement of Apple's most gigantic baybags ever. They just have so much dough that they will support the market either way. And for it to go further down now, well, that's a dickens of a thing that has to happen. Well, the chart looks weak, really weak. Now that's cool. That looked strong. That looked strong. That looked strong. All the way down here. And that's it. And from here on out, the boys are blown away. And then there was some more rebounding after that. And that's where we got things changed in the red zone altogether. Like a week, 2 weeks to watch. There's a lot to resolve in the next 2 weeks. There's gold. Ah, it's Apple we have with a gap with such a powerful opening. And what did they announce? Well, look how cool the signals were on the daily. 1, 2. And further down, even lower, gave a third signal. It's a super combo of longing signals in general. That's this one. It's mega. Because when it goes like this, there is turquoise, and there in one place long, this time in fact, can be considered as one. Then turquoise and blue are 2, because they are together somewhere in there. And here are 7 diverters, all straight up super cool signal that yielded 13%. Those were some super cool flares. That's the kind of combo I'm going to have working in my spreadsheet right now. And I'm gonna train him to see these bundles like this. Some kind of riot. Well, also actually, look at this. It started like this. If we have a 2-day look after the first one, for 2 days, I guess, there's been 2 signals here. Yes. After turquoise, it should go to orange. So if a purchase has been made here somewhere, hold on. The growth should continue. By the way, about Tesla, just like that, we had here other super signals, and Tesla went further up, and that's where the momentum starts. Well, geez. Here's a look at how interesting it is. It's starting to build momentum further up, because there's been such a giant payoff here. Well, actually, as far as I know, the chartists here are straight up shaved. Shaved all the chartists badly. Dropped below the level. It looks like shit. If they hold under the level here now, there is a very high probability that another downward move may come next. Carvana of some kind. Here from turquoise to orange, well, actually look at the chart yourself. It looks very, very strong. Straight up mega hard today opened up just fucking amazing. It looks very powerful, and it's not the first time I've opened with a gap this steep. It looks cool. Especially, look at this. After 2 blues, there was this gap and fly up. And we're 2 days into a 1, 2 and a gap up now. Well, there's really no need to buy anything anywhere. It's all about fixing it. Well, it's too early to fix either. This is where we need to keep going. So AMD is looking weak for sure. Okay, let's see what we have here now with the levels. I guess it's like this. It looks like shit. Really sucks, because if you have to get beyond the level now and keep holding, but the seller's index is pretty straight up big. And the week is probably down too. Well, I've got to hold on. To hold at the level and bounce back, then there is a chance for some growth. But it looks really kind of weak. By the way, on a girl, here's 1, 2 signal, and now have come to the buying zone. By the way, here we go again now, just like the previous signals. Basically, we have 1 long, 2 and 3. Well, geez, 5 divots is a weak signal. What's he supposed to be? And basically, the border with the canal has been touched. You can buy here in the hope that it will go up further. But it looks weak. Not as cool as Apple made it look. Apple had the top of the line.